In this ET channeled reading, ETs tell him he's an intergalactic enforcer. All right, so it is time once again for another ET channeled session. And here we have Matt. Sorry, I almost called you Scott again. We have Matt.
I've
So
been called worse.
I don't know a whole lot about Matt, which is good for you because that means whatever comes out of my mouth, it won't be something that I've known about you. But do me a favor and just talk a little bit about anything, what's going on in your life, why you're interested in this, anything.
Yeah.
It helps me to connect with you just hearing you talk.
Yeah. Okay. Let's yeah, it's a broad well, I live in Ottawa, Canada. What am I? I'm over 50, 54, single. Um, I started developing, let's say, a spirituality maybe around the COVID time, the COVID times. Um, I question, I've always questioned everything. I kind of saw that was nonsense. But I've always known there's something deeper going on, you know. So I've been researching everything and anything from, let's say, Sasquatch to ETs to
Hmm.
God to, I'm curious, so I look at everything. I'm very critical, skeptical, so I don't accept everything, of course. Um, and I found you maybe 3 weeks ago. It resonated, so I'm like, okay, let's go see what's happening. You clicked because I talked to about 4 or 5 months ago, a past life facilitator, and the stuff we were coming up with was insane. Um, I don't want to tell you too much because I don't want to
Yeah,
direct you.
don't tell me. Maybe tell me later. I don't
You
want
know,
to get spoiled.
yeah.
So
So, like when you get into this stuff, you sound like if I told my average friend about this stuff, they'd go, "Yeah, you're crazy and you need to go to a loony bin." But
yeah.
this stuff, I'm very open-minded. I've done my research. It resonates. It's I'm not a religious guy. I've always not. I don't like mind control. But when I figured out, we're in a matrix, 3D, 5D, all these monikers, let's say, there's so much more. Like I've done DMT. I'll never do it again, probably. It blew, like I kind of knew what I was getting into, but it blew my mind just like it was insane. But that gave me the first step to there is more. That established my whatever I needed to know. There was more. So from there, I've just kind of like blown everything wide open. And again, I see everybody's bias, everybody's, like, 'cause I see stuff that, even people talking don't know what they're talking about sometimes, even though they're being truthful and honest. I know there's bigger layers in play, right? So again, I'm exploring.
Yeah.
And in that exploration, you leave things aside, you find out about yourself, a whole bunch of stuff. So that's kind of a very broad, cold
Yeah.
answer.
Okay. So almost from the beginning when you started talking, and I'm just going to give you the words that came to me again. My mind is going to interpret whatever they say with whatever vocabulary I have. So who knows what they really mean. But the first thing that came to my mind was that he's a very powerful Jedi. Sorry, it sounds weird, but that's what came to my mind. That's not the word I would have chosen. They also said they also started talking about why you've come here. You've come here. You're extremely powerful, for one thing.
Okay.
So you may not realize how powerful you are. And the sense that I get is that that hasn't completely opened up to you. Of course, it's going to be true for everybody until until we get to the higher frequencies. Um, there were some other things they said. What else did you guys say? He's not here for games. He doesn't like games. He's not here to screw around. And we don't want him to lose focus. So we've helped him to stay sort of in the dark until now. And I'm seeing like pictures of you with almost like Superman like things on your chest and some kind of a badge of your strength and your power. And it comes from it comes from your essence. It comes from who you are, your presence. So you will have the ability, if you don't already, to be able to simply go into a group of people or a room and just let your aura expand. This
Okay.
this is good for people who are struggling. It gives them a feeling of safety and connection that calms them down. People who aren't uh, vibrating at a the right vibrating at an evil place, it makes them uncomfortable, so they tend to skedaddle
Yeah,
or
I
they
know.
tend to get their heads together. So you have this power, and this is something that you've had. The feeling I get is it's just you're just dead serious. Like there's just no screwing around here.
Okay.
And it's almost like your human version of yourself is a much more toned down version of who you are in the 5D. Like in the 5D, if you show up, everybody, you know, comes to order.
Yeah.
You have that kind of power in the spiritual realm. So let's see what else. What else can you guys tell me about him? More channeled info for Matt coming up. Hey, would you like to have me give you an ET channeled reading? What I am learning by doing these channeled ET readings is that human beings are the most powerful spiritual deities in the entire multiverse. In fact, only the most powerful of deities are allowed to come here and incarnate. So, what I do in these ET channeled readings is I channel the information that comes from higher dimensional extraterrestrial beings, and the result is that the person that I'm talking to goes through what I refer to as 5D reintegration, where they reintegrate into their higher dimensional identity. And every one of them is unique and every one of them is powerful. And so far, all of these readings I've done have been unbelievable. Okay, back to Matt's channeled reading. Yeah, what else? We want him to know that he's come here for a very specific purpose.
Mhm.
And that's true for everybody, but for you, it's like very specific. And it has to do with what we've just been talking about. And there is a, a frequency that you're going to bring. I know I'm talking around things, I'm trying to put it into words, but you're like a sheriff, and the sheriff goes around and is dead serious about keeping his town safe. Like a sheriff in the Wild West where, you had to really be on your game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is who you are energetically, and this is the reason that you came. You came at least for, if not other reasons, you came to plant your flag here and present an energy so that this shift would not get hijacked or distracted or screwed up. So I'm saying this because the feeling I get is that you may struggle perhaps with how intense your energy is, how powerful your energy is, because in 3D, you can't. I know I'm kind of similar. You can't be that way with everybody.
No. No.
Um, you just can't. Um, so you can't really be your true self. And it also puts a target on your head too for those that want to do bad things.
Yeah.
So that time has gone. I was going to say something else, but they're saying no, that time is over. So internally for you, I'm really feeling this strongly. It's a lot of energy right here. For you, the time is to internally just decide that's it. That's it. There's no screwing around. And so you intend that. You intend that things are going to shift, that people are going to change. You are going to be a frequency. I've never experienced this before. I've never even thought of this before. You are going to be a frequency where people who aren't ready to ascend, when they bump into your energy, they are going to shift down.
Shift down.
They're going to shift down, the people who are not ready to ascend. And this is a very important role. The only person who can do this kind of role is somebody who does not have any personal agenda. So, the person who loves you the most is the person who will tell you the bitter truth that you can't stomach. That's the person who loves you the most. They don't care what you think. They're not interested in getting you to like them. They want to be liked, but that's not who they are. They're interested in the other person. And so this is you. So you know that as things are getting continuing to shift and things are getting confusing, it's time to start winnowing out who's going on the bus and who's staying here. Now, of course, you don't have to do anything or say anything. It's not about that. It's just simply about your presence and being in the world, not only physically with people, but energetically when you meditate, even when you just think and you imagine where things are going, where you want things to go, when you get that serious, okay, let's quit screwing around. Who's coming on the bus? Who's staying here? And you're that guy who says, no, you're not coming on the bus. You don't get to get on. This sounds really harsh. It sounds harsh to me, and it sounds really harsh to other people, but that's because of where we're at. A year ago, this wouldn't have been the time for that energy. So more than likely, I'm going to guess, I'm imagining that this resolve in you has started getting stronger and stronger and stronger over the past few years, especially. You don't have any more space in you to put up with the nonsense. But you're not a conspiracy theorist. You're not trying to cause problems yeah. So you kind of feel alone. And this was part of the design.
Yeah.
Because if you're attached to too many people,
Yeah, you get pulled.
yeah, you have to deal with them and appease them. And so if you're connected only to basically your soul and the spirit, then you don't have to do that. Okay, so all right, so now they're wanting to know if you have any questions for them.
Um, are there a lot of sheriffs on the planet? I don't know, just a quick curiosity. My ego
Good,
probably wants to know.
good question. Let's see. Are there a lot of sheriffs on this planet? So they laughed and they're shaking their head. Nope.
Are there more than one?
Yeah,
Okay.
but they're strategically placed around
Like,
the earth. So
okay.
you're
Like
not going to have a
anchor.
bunch of them in one spot.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that has to do with the energy that you have that comes off of you. And it creates a wide perimeter. So
Okay.
this is important. And so the more, again, repeating myself, but the more that you commit to that and in your meditation, like you can even imagine sending energy out.
I get very large during some of my like it's really weird. Like
Yeah.
I'll just like boom, and I'm like I'm fucking
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. So again, I appreciate the feedback because I didn't know that about you. And so to hear you say that means that we are actually talking to somebody. So continue to do that. Focus on that. Even make the intention to make that even stronger and stronger and stronger. Um,
Okay.
what else? Was there something else you were
Yeah.
saying? I forgot. What else? Okay, so they want you to know why you're here. So I thought we told them why he was here. So why is he here? They say you know why I'm here,
Okay.
and and it's more like your spirit knows why I'm here. So I don't know why that's important. Why is that?
I
Sorry, you were going to say something?
I just to reiterate, I know why you're here.
Yeah.
Like, okay. When you're done, we'll maybe explore that.
Okay. Yeah, and it's more like your spirit knows. So maybe
Okay.
your 3D brain doesn't know, but your spirit knows.
Okay.
Um, okay, so let's see what else. Okay, now they're talking to both of us. We want you guys to know why you're both here. You're not here to screw around. So they're repeating lots of the same things.
Do they use that word screwing around?
No, this again, I have to
I
interpret.
like it. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
I have to interpret. So, I don't know if they give me words. Sometimes, like I said, the Jedi thing, it's like I didn't think of that. That popped into
Yeah.
my head, but this is what's coming to my head.
Yeah.
We want you guys to understand why you're here. Neither of you are here to screw around. It has become so important. Okay, now I understand where they're going. It has become so important to disengage from the narrative now more than ever. So, okay, so I'm getting the feeling that it's sort of like your mind, they're talking about me too, but your mind it's like a scalpel. And
Okay.
so we're cutting through, cutting away all of the nonsense because what's about to happen in the world is going to be completely unbelievable to the mindset of the average person.
Hmm.
You guys are already there. It won't surprise you
Yeah.
as much, but it's going to be absolutely mind-boggling and traumatic for the average person. And if there aren't people like you who have the ability to just get straight to the point with as much reality and as much force as possible, it's actually bad because people have nowhere to ground themselves. So you become, like a grounding for them and a focus.
Is
So
that,
go ahead. Yeah.
or is that in a mental sense or a physical sense or both? Because my sphere of influence with physical people continues to dwindle, right? Like I'm not, I'm alone a lot. I talk to a couple of people, but they don't know anything about anything.
Yeah.
I'm not some guy in a pulpit,
Yeah.
talking with 1,000 people here.
Yeah, all that narrative of society, you're basically talking about the structure of society. That's all coming apart. Same with me. I don't have any real interactions with people other than the people that I work with. But everything is going to flip, and when the narrative, which is what holds everybody together, right? Like I go down to the beach here and everybody's playing their thing and doing their stuff and they've got their family and they've all got their little bubbles. I can almost see the bubble that they're in, right? And so I'm not in that, and so I don't connect with them. But those bubbles are going to come apart, and people are going to start looking for something. And this is when we're going to see the winnowing, when people, those who stay and those who go. It's going to be that when the narrative falls apart, people are either going to regroup and create a harsher narrative that holds them together, or they're going to drop it and open up and move into energy. So when we move into energy, what's going to happen is people are going to connect based on actual true energetic connection. So to get back to your question, right now, yeah, your energy is self-contained. But when that narrative bubble breaks, your energy is going to continue to expand and people are going
Hmm.
to, like, feral dogs are going to start looking for some place to live. That
So are
makes
they
sense.
gonna find me sort of thing, or
Yeah.
like do I need to?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
like I don't need to start putting flyers out on doors and
No, 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 not at all.
okay.
Remember, it's about your energy, and so we're changing from an in because everything is intellectual now. You know, banks, money, borders, all these things are intellectual concepts that actually run. I mean, people off themselves because of these concepts,
Yeah.
not about energy. So it's going to be about energy very soon, and your energy is going to be something people will connect to. I mean, it happens every now and then, but just today I was walking on the beach and somebody walked up to me and said something which I found to be very unusual. And I knew that what was happening, he gave me a compliment. And what was happening is that this was coming from the connection that I have with my light beings. They were communicating to me through him. And so more of that is going to happen. So strangers are going to come up to you. And I'm not saying this is going to happen like I'm going to describe, but it wouldn't be out of the ordinary if somebody walked up to you and said, listen, I don't know you, but there's just something about you. And I feel like I have to ask you this question, or that kind of stuff is going to start happening. Might not happen tomorrow or the next day, but it will start happening when this shift occurs. Okay. All right. More questions from you.
Yeah, they kind of popped in and out. So that, I mean, just I don't, this kind of aligns with again those voices in the back of your head, that intuition. This aligns with that. Again, the ego loves it. I try to keep my ego in check, right? So you're always in that like, who am I? What am I? Like I don't want to be throwing myself off kilter here. So I don't really. I did have a question. What the hell was it? Um, yeah, been writing stuff down. So I guess I can just continue. Okay, I'm gonna lead up to a question. I'll just continue what I've been doing. Is that a fair
Yeah.
assumption at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, so now here's a different topic that I'm gonna bring into this. Um, I've had chronic pain since I was a teenager. Last 10, 11 years, uh, that's all my whole day is pain management. Um, does that does that help with this, let's say, purpose in that it's kept me uh, isolated, for lack of a better word, from, you know, well, society, let's say. Like, or is this something that happened by chance that I fucked something up? I swear a lot, so anyways,
It's okay. So do I.
I'm trying not to, but it's part of my pain management. Let's put it that way. The
Yeah.
victims of that. Um, is it in this purpose, this chronic pain? Has it served a purpose in that sense, or is this just something I did to myself that I just, I'm getting over it and there's lessons in it, but it's an addendum to my purpose.
Okay. So the answer to that question is it wasn't something that was spiritually woven into it. It was your 3D uh, protection mechanism.
Okay.
So it means that there's been a conflict
Hmm.
internally, and that conflict is the source of pain. So I'm going to give you something in the text here, which I encourage you to go and investigate. So I myself, when I was, I'm 61 now, but when I was 30, I had debilitating back pain to the point where I couldn't move lots of times.
I've been there 1,000 times. Yeah, not to negate.
So, and I have zero pain, none. So, whatever doctors tell you, unless like, you've been in a car accident and broke your neck or something, the vast majority of this kind of chronic pain is because of what I'm going to describe. So let's see, where's I want to send a message. How do I do that? Chat. I'm such a wonderful person. All right. Let's see here. So, I want you to go look this up. There's some books about it, and this can be cited. I think I did I do that right? Yeah, there it is. Tension myositis syndrome. And it sounds big, but it just basically, myositis just means inflammation of tissues.
Yeah.
So this was discovered by a doctor. I won't get too into it. You'll find out in the 60s. And if you remember, if I think you're a little bit younger than I am, but when I was a kid in the 70s, I can remember that everybody, including my dad, had stomach ulcers. And then doctors universally decided that stomach ulcers were caused by stress. And as soon as that happened, stomach ulcers disappeared and back pain appeared. And so this doctor found out that what happens is the nerves and the tissues, the brain turns off blood flow to certain tissues, and then things get inflamed, and or you know what, your back is out, or your arm, or your shoulder, or whatever the heck it is. And it just means that there's an unresolved conflict. You know, look at people who have um, what is that called? People that work on computers and they talk
Yeah,
about
like carpal tunnel sort of thing.
carpal tunnel syndrome. I mean, it's a completely there's no physiological reason for that, but it's so symbolic because what do they do all day? It means they hate their job, but they can't quit.
Like I've got 10 years of yoga and meditation and breathing, and I beat the crap out of myself every day, right? Both in a negative sense and now in a positive, hopefully in a positive. I've identified my knots and all the myofascial, the contractions and all the, I've done whatever, no stupid doctor in the history of the world could tell me for 30 years.
Right. So let me tell you what this doctor did to
Yeah,
cure people. He got them to believe that what was happening was purely psychosomatic and
okay.
that their brain was doing it to them. And once they were able to accept that, just like the people who, because they saw it in newspapers and all doctors were saying that stomach ulcers were psychosomatic, they believed it and
It's
it
like a
went away.
placebo effect almost in the sense. See,
So let me finish very
yeah,
quickly.
okay, sorry.
So what I've come to understand is that this goes back to we have a choice between following our true soul path or fitting in. And people who have a conflict about it, like yourself,
Yeah.
they tend to fight with themselves. So that ends up showing up in the body, just like it did with me.
But it's been a big fight.
Yeah. So what we're talking about may in and of itself heal you. So my first two recommendations, assuming you don't have any actual, injuries from, like being mangled in a car accident or something.
Yeah, yeah,
If that's not the case, then my first recommendation based on those books and my experiences, the pain means nothing. In
yeah,
fact, if I have pain in my neck, I'm going to go do back in the gym. If
yeah.
I have pain in my knee, I'm going to go do legs in the gym. I'm going to do the
Well,
opposite of what my body's trying to tell me to do because it's lying to me.
I have done that, but anyways, keep going.
Yeah, so it puts the blood and then things go away.
Yeah,
The pain goes away. And then the second thing is to really put into accepting what you're being told today, which is that you are this powerful Jedi, you are this sheriff, you have an energy that is extremely powerful and unique in this world, so much so that there's only a few people comparatively on the world that are in specific places, and your job is to send out that powerful, intense, committed, cleansing energy. And of course, when you do that, you will then overcome any blocks within yourself. Because when you meditate this way, your brain is going to go, I don't know, I don't want to upset anybody, and I don't want to. You're going to do that, which is a self-protection mechanism when you live in nonsense, right? When you live in the 3D nonsense, you tell yourself that. And now you're going to, and not just you, you're not the only person, a lot of people, myself included, it's now going to be time that it's okay that your energy is going to frighten, intimidate, overwhelm people. And and that means that you are pushing their They're buttons having to do with the narrative and staying in the narrative. And it's okay for them to be really uncomfortable. And it's okay that you're the source for that. Just like if you were, to adjust somebody's body, as a chiropractor, okay, this is going to hurt, right? Has to.
Well, I can jump. Sorry, I know I'm kind of
Go
cutting you
ahead.
off.
Go ahead.
Um, so again, there's a line. I'm kind of, I'm just making this up as I go with this question, but there's a line between, physicality and mental, right? I don't like, never want to hurt anybody. I don't want to get physical. Never want to be violent, right? Maybe in my past I was because there's parts of me that like, fuck me. I'd rather have a sword right now and take care of this right done. But this is obviously a different time, and I want to be joyful and loving. I
Yeah.
don't want to be
Yeah.
hurting people.
Yeah.
But and what you've just described, I've done already many times. But I do hold myself back a lot because these people don't want what I have at this point. They don't give a shit. They want to stay in their bubble. They want to be comfortable. They don't care. So, I can't just be at a bull in a china shop because everybody wants to protect the china. Even if it's going to poison them, they want to protect the china. So there's times when, okay, the line's crossed, you're toast. I get into, my mode. But most of the time I kind of just, I'll say my piece and whatever, you do you, but I don't go like these people's whole world will dissolve in a heartbeat if I let them have it. And again, if I'm in a party with 20 people, like
Yeah.
I'll change the whole mood of that party in 2 seconds. So I've shied away from getting to that point at this point in time, although people know I'm capable of it, I think.
Yeah.
Is
So,
that kind of what we're talking about?
yeah. So, again, so we have to again focus a little more sharply. Like you said, this isn't physical. So you don't drive up on anybody and give anybody anything if they haven't asked. However,
That's a good point. Yeah.
mentally,
Yeah.
energetically, spiritually, you don't abandon your post. So, in other words, if you're in a party
Gotcha.
and that's coming up, and you're thinking to yourself, these people are so full of crap, it's driving me crazy, and you start beating yourself up and climbing inside yourself, that's
Mm,
where the pain comes in. And
gotcha.
you're doing it to protect them. You don't need to protect them from your energy as long as you're not driving up on them and telling them where they need to go.
That's a
Uh,
good.
you
Okay.
stay in your energy. Now, the other half of this is you're going to have to stop hanging around people that you know are toxic.
Well, I have, but
Yeah.
I do tell myself like it's nice to have a couple of friends every once in a while, but uh, I thought anyways, I really have. Like I'm alone
Yeah.
a lot.
So
Like
I'm going to give you a seed sound to chant. I was going to give this to you earlier. That's what I was trying to figure out. Now I remember. So this is the time for that. So here comes the. We've done this on the live guided meditations a few times. And so the chant is Thum, and the rune for it is Thurisaj. So you can chant Thum,
boom, okay.
and you can get like a Thurisaj rune. You can find a Thurisaj pendant if you want, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Sorry, is the chant the 3 words or just the first word?
No, the first word is the chant, Thum.
Boom. Okay.
So Thurisaj is the rune. So I tried to make a distance between the two of them. Anyway, but let's see. Here's what the rune looks like. Oh, this is a good one for you too. Here are two runes. So if you want, you can get, find necklaces or medallions. This is the Thurisaj rune,
Okay.
and this has to do with boundaries. And what it is, it's the god Thor, and what he does is he fights the giants, the demons, the trolls, and he does that to protect the humans. So this has to do with boundaries, energetic and spiritual boundaries. So this is your issue. Your issue because, and we can ask the light beings what the past life situation was, but I'm giving an educated guess here that there was a past life when you were an ass kicker and you now there's so much karma around it you don't want to hurt anybody. So instead you're constantly, you know,
Yeah, I beat the
beating
hell out of
yourself up. And so what happens is you don't have the uh, the boundaries, the energetic boundaries. And this is your job. This has always been your job to give the boundaries, the healthy boundaries that protect human beings from evil. All right, here's another rune which will be good for you. This is Uruj. So I'll write that for you. And you can
it.
get a pendant, you know, find them online everywhere. You can get a pendant for this. Oh, I just got hit with energy as I said that, so that you're supposed to wear this.
Okay. Okay.
Supposed to
Can I
wear this.
wear both of them? Does it like how?
It won't hurt you to wear both of them, but if I had to
Okay.
pick, chant Thum
Okay.
and wear Uruj.
Okay.
So Uruj means the aurochs, and it's, you know, what that, I just put it away. But what that is that that's the horns of uh, the prehistoric bison of Europe, which now cows are. But they used to be these big ass, huge things, and they were the most powerful beings in the forest. And so they were lauded for their strength. And so you chant this for physical strength. So this
Mhm.
will be good for your health.
Yeah.
So when I said that, I got hit with energy, which means that this will be good for your health. So you can chant that as well. You can chant Uruj, Uruj, Uruj. Be prepared. I'm warning you ahead of time. Those two runes, you're gonna feel huge surges of power, and
Okay.
it's gonna make you. You're gonna be like a bull.
Yeah.
So that stuff needs to come out.
What do you mean out? Like
Like you have to feel it. It
present?
doesn't
Yeah.
mean you
Okay.
take it out on anybody. It means
No,
that you
it's
have to feel it
gotta wear it.
and
Okay.
own it and be comfortable with it. And
Yeah.
when you get comfortable with it, if somebody gets in your face, you'll just be, yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And they'll go, okay. You know what I mean? So
Well, it's shit. Where was I going with that now? Things enter my head and then they disappear. Um, yeah. So part of this conflict is that people come at me, I hold back my power, and then it's like I don't want to appear like I don't care because these things matter. So I got to give them something, but I don't ever like I don't. I feel like I back away, even though I don't. Like, especially in their eyes, they think I'm whatever they think. But in my head, I've almost failed a little bit because I'm like, did I weaken myself for their sake, sort of thing.
answer is yes.
Yeah. Okay. So going forward, they need to
You're
act.
trying to save them,
Yeah, and
trying to help them.
they're goddamn stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
So, you got to navigate that. And
yeah,
I'm not going to try and tell you how to say it or what, but you got to navigate that.
it's an art. Let's put it that way.
You're going to make mistakes and you're going to step on people's toes you
No, it's
know,
all good. I love it, to be honest with you.
yeah.
I don't
And
get the challenge.
you can say things like, listen, I'm not doing that anymore. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times where like, listen, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And of course, people get their feelings hurt. Oh, they get all bent out of shape. But that's because we've been living in a world where people have been placated. I mean, this whole woke nonsense of, what,
I'm a victim. I'm a
don't
victim.
call me he or she, call me they. It's like, it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we put up with it. So you don't have to put up with it. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to tell them what to do. You just don't engage. And if they get in your face, just say, "I'm not doing this with you."
Okay, that's a good. I don't have to get mad. That's the part I
No,
don't remember.
No, they will get mad. What you're not comfortable with is they're going to get mad at you. And it doesn't bother you that people get mad at you. It bothers you the thought that you're hurting them.
Yeah.
You're not. That's
Okay.
the lie. They're lying to you when they say, you hurt me when you don't buy into all my garbage. And you go, oh God, I don't want to hurt anybody. And
That's deep down. That's yeah. You're
yeah,
100%.
and the
No.
reality is you go, I didn't do anything to you. You're the one
No.
that drove up on me. I'm not doing this with you.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
what's going to happen is a lot of those people are going to leave. They're going to leave your life and good riddance.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never chased people. Anyways,
Yeah.
people come and go. I don't. It is what it is. I do have friends that been around 20 years, but yeah, it
And
is.
new people will come into your life.
Yeah.
And that is something that I believe is going to start happening for a lot of people, myself included. I think
Oh, I spend
you,
all day in my house. Like I
well,
never
no,
leave.
I don't know about that. But in other words, you're gonna start attracting the people that you're gonna want to hang out
Okay.
with, want to spend time.
Okay. Um, got time for a question?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Am I human?
All right, let's ask that question. First answer is no. You're a powerful magi, and not my words, of an alternate realm of existence. Very powerful. I'm seeing it as I'm talking, it's like this big cloud of energy. So you come from a realm of extremely powerful beings. And again, you've come here. You've been watching Earth for a long time. I don't know how many times you've been human, but your higher dimensional self watches Earth, and you've been wait. Okay, here it is. You've been waiting for an opportunity to come here that you can actually accomplish something based on your power. And when you saw that this shift was going to happen, you said, that I want to be a part of that. So you've been patiently waiting, and you've seen the stress that it's taken on your body. You have not been able to interact the way, I mean, I'm the same way. I don't know how these people do it. I don't know how people spend their whole lives doing this garbage. I don't get it.
Illusion, drugs, and alcohol. Anyways.
Yeah, even the people that don't do that, they just, handbags and cars, and I don't know what, I don't,
Yeah.
So you've got your own thing about that, but that's been very difficult for you. So for a lot of people, the intensity of the third dimension is what is hard for them. The difficulty for you isn't the intensity of the third dimension. It's the inability of the third dimension to handle your intensity.
Yeah.
And so you come from a realm where there's a bunch of other really powerful, intense beings, and there's no, you guys are, everybody's straight with each other all the time. And this has been very difficult for you. So to answer your question, no, I mean, everybody's from somewhere, but your essence is not that of a human.
Okay. So I won't be a rainbow person.
Well, think about where rainbows come from.
Well, I
Where,
watched one of your things this afternoon that you were talking about, the humans will be
yeah,
the rainbow.
okay.
That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but think about where rainbows come from. There's a big flash of lightning.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rainbow doesn't come until all that stuff happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So that's a really great way of putting it. Like after lightning hits, you can feel like how clear and vibrant the air is. That's you.
I'm the lightning or I'm the
You're the lightning, and yeah, the energy that lingers after that. So
gotcha.
I it wouldn't surprise me if you weren't a lightning magician or wizard or something, because it all that means is cleansing of negativity. That's why I used to call myself the thunder wizard, because of
Mm,
that. And technically speaking, the Taoist spirit fighters, they would call themselves thunder shamans or thunder sorcerers or
well,
whatever.
it's funny.
But
One of my monikers would be Thundersticks. I'm a drummer, so anyway.
oh, okay. A drummer is Shiva. Shiva's the destroyer.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Um,
that's why Shiva has a drum. So all drummers have a connect. I'm a drummer too. That's how one of the things they get
yeah, yeah.
connected to Shiva that way.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. And I'm a
So
metal guy. I'm no backbeat guy, I can tell you that.
so you can think about that because again Shiva is worshipped as this the most peaceful but he's the destroyer and he comes and destroys what is stale, what is old, and he creates new. And so if you're in that stale world, Shiva shows up. It is not a happy time for those people. They don't enjoy
No,
it.
no. There's much conflict.
And he doesn't have any issue with it. In fact, there are you can, a good thing to do would be read his the myths about him. I mean, he's known for opening his third eye and just simply neutralizing people's heads. Like they're, lasers coming out of his eyes and their heads exploding.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
does that. And he has
Yeah.
no problem doing that. It's like, that's my job.
Well, that's what I probably held myself back from doing, right? Like, fuck me. Like, that's where my conflict has been most of my
There it
life.
is.
But again, it's an art, right? I've done, I think I've done pretty well. I haven't fallen into any traps.
Here's
Um,
something you can do. If there's a person or people in your life and they're giving you a hard time, obviously in front of them, you don't do anything. You go and you meditate. And in your meditations, you go and tell them what's what.
that's what I currently do. It's
Good,
funny. And
good.
again, I don't know. These are things I've fallen into, right? Like I don't, I didn't know any of this stuff, but there's an intuition and, you open yourself up and it's kind of what I've been
Yeah.
doing.
Talk
So
to their spirit and say, listen, your energy is really destructive. Your energy is really harmful. And I care about you, but you're full of crap.
yeah.
You need to wake up. Now, you never tell them if they don't come and ask you, but you can tell people in meditation. In fact, it's good. Their spirit needs it. This is
Okay.
your job. Cops knock on the door and they have to do things that people don't like and they have to do it.
So I can connect to their spirit guides. Would that be
You can connect to their spirit guides. You can
their
call their
spirit
spirit to you.
or their direct spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then yeah. Okay. Because I don't
Yeah.
know if I've been doing it like introducing myself, telling them, or just
No, you
sending it.
just bring up them in your mind and say, hey, it's me, and I want to
Yeah.
talk to you. And this is bothering me. Because every human, all those screwed up humans, when you get to their spirit is actually a beautiful, shining, perfect being. They're
Yeah.
just in these costumes. So all that garbage is their costume, and they're method actors and they forgot their acting, you know?
Yeah.
So you talk to their spirit and you say, listen, you did this, you said that, and I care about you, and it was harmful to me, and it's bugging the crap out of me. And tell them whatever you want to tell them. Their spirit will hear it.
Okay.
And if you're using the Thung mantra, people are going to leave. In fact, people may out of nowhere just go, you know what? There's just something about you I don't like, and I'm out of here, and they'll just disappear.
Now, so I use the Thum mantra. Does that mean when I'm meditating and this will happen later, or you mean like in a room if I use it in my head or
Both. You can do
both?
both.
Like,
Yeah, you can use it as a weapon if you want. Boom.
okay. All right.
I was doing that today. My landlord showed up and I'm not happy with him and I was doing that to
All right. I
get
smile. I don't know why I smile amongst conflict, but anyways, keep going. Sorry.
yeah. So anyway. All right, what
It,
else?
yeah, I've heard you with your sorry, something clicking here. Um, with your landlord. That's yeah, you've got your issues. Um, I'm not sure what else. I had 1,000 questions, but timelines. I mean, I kind of know the answer already, but like,
Well, my take on timelines, and this comes from them. One of the first things that was told to me by the first ET that showed up is he said, you are a probability. And I said, yes, everything is possible. And he said, no, you are a probability. And then he said, what do you want? And I tried to think about what I wanted and I explained it. And he said, okay, now imagine creating that in a bubble.
Mhm.
And so I imagined it and I went in there. He says, now go inside and live in there. And I did. And I saw everything and touched everything. And then I came out and he says, okay, now watch. That is going to come to you. And it did. It was a house. I was thinking of where I wanted to live and how I wanted to live. And I ended up living in that, almost exactly what I had imagined. And it was handed to me. I was in another country and somebody just walked up and said, hey, you want to rent that house? And I said, okay. And it was exactly what I had imagined. So it's not that there are timelines, right? Like here's a timeline and a timeline, and we're
No,
jumping.
yeah, no.
They're probabilities. They haven't manifested yet, but we grab onto a probability and it manifests around us.
Okay. That's, yeah, I was kind of thinking like timeline in this linear timeline, not uh like, again, they're not going to tell us next Tuesday. Be ready. But
Oh, you're asking me. Oh, so you're asking me a different question. You're asking me
well,
when is all this going to happen? So again,
yeah, I guess
they
so.
don't operate
No.
on 3D time.
But in my lifetime or
Oh
not?
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
like okay.
Oh yeah. It's going to
Assuming
happen.
I'm
It's going to I mean, look at this is going to it's going to happen in my lifetime. I
okay.
mean, but you can quicken the pace
Mhm. That's
based
what
on your focus and your intention. So all that stuff I just unnecessarily said about probabilities, that will speed things up.
yeah, no, I like that too. I ask some stuff that's can go either way sometimes just to, it's all information. It's all good. God damn it. I have 10 questions and then we go and then I forget the questions. Doing three things at once here. How about like a totally maybe like non-player characters? Do they have anything to say about that idea that
Well, I've got my opinion. I'll ask them. I think I know the answer. Is there such a thing as non-player characters? They're laughing their ass off. The answer is no.
okay, well that's okay. That
They're
makes more
uh,
sense than
Yeah, because that would mean because then you start going into, well, then how do I know I'm on, you know, it,
I it
it becomes really devaluing just to the human spirit.
yeah.
If they're non-player characters, it means that this game is just a game. It doesn't have any value, that the earth isn't really important, and it's the exact opposite. This is the most important world in the multiverse. So only the most powerful souls get to be here. And we, as well as all the other beings that are working on this project, they wouldn't waste anybody's time with non-player characters. This is a projection of people about themselves. People who love the idea of NPCs, it
Yeah.
means that they feel like they are one unconsciously.
Oh,
So they
okay.
project it onto the world around them.
Okay. All right. It's okay, good. I'm kind of glad I asked because again, these are all quite, I don't know. What the hell do I know? Um, anyways, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking. I had written the list maybe of just stuff maybe oh, I got a cool question maybe. See if your friends know anything. When I think I was around grade six, I had a shadow figure visit me in my house that my family home. Um, may have been associated with lights that I associated with UFOs maybe at the time. My memory's kind of lax on that part, but a shadow figure that literally looked at me, backed up, walked across the bedroom door and into a wall and disappeared. Like it freaked me out. I froze for like 10 minutes. Does that have anything to do with anything? Was this just was it part of a spirit plan? Was it a spirit visiting me? Was I hallucinating perhaps? I'm in grade six,
You
I'm
were
young.
you weren't hallucinating because I felt as soon as you said that, I got hit with a bunch of energy. I can tell you the first word that popped into my head was it was a father of yours.
Like a
Uh,
grandfather? Or father.
or yeah, or it could have been from a previous life even.
Okay. Okay.
And okay, so let's see what else. What else? Tell me more about that shadow figure. Really? They say he wouldn't be ready to hear all of it right now, but it was somebody from another dimension checking in on you
That's okay.
to see if you were okay. Somebody who knows what you're capable of. Yeah, so it was a person from, remember what I said earlier? You came from, I even said it, you came from the shadowy realm that
Yeah.
was dark and powerful. So
Yeah.
that would mean one of those beings, if they show up, that's how they're going to look. They're going to look like a,
Well,
but
it freaked the hell out of me. I can like my feeling was I caught it looking at me. It wasn't supposed to get caught. And then it panicked and fucked off
yeah,
through the wall, which freaked me out even more because
right.
what the hell was that?
Yeah, it was, so it wasn't part of our dimension.
Okay.
Um, But
Okay.
yeah, so that explains that. Because normally, when people talk about shadow figures, they're usually being oppressed or abused or haunted, and you're not saying that. You're saying that this thing came and checked you out, and then you
Yeah.
saw it and went, "Oh, shit," and it
Yeah.
took off.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it didn't, it just walked calmly, but like that was the sense I got was like, because it literally, it's like this looking at me, like, you catch somebody looking at you from a tree sort of thing behind a tree. And then the whole body, walked away. And I was like, you're in grade six. I don't know anything about anything. I'm what, 11 years old? Like it was pretty freaky. So anyways, okay.
So let me see. That gives me a question to ask them. So was he was Matt seeing into another dimension, or did Matt get the attention of this other being? Matt got the attention of this other being who came in to check him out, and yeah, check up on him, see that he was okay. So the fact that you were able to see this being and you could see that it wasn't ready to be seen, that okay. Yeah, so am I right that for the reason for that? Yeah. So the reason for that, and you remember it, is so that you would realize how powerful you are.
Well, that did not occur.
Because
Sorry.
because somebody who didn't have any power would not, number one, have been able to attract the attention of that being, and number two, would not have been able to see it.
Wow. Okay. I had that until this moment, that never entered my mind.
Yeah, so I mean, this, when we're kids, these kinds of things happen and they never leave us and we don't know what they mean.
Yeah.
Those always have, when the time comes, when we awaken, those things will all have a meaning. And so that's the meaning for this, is that, and again, remember what I was saying before, you're this powerful, Jedi, that's who you are. So the average person, it wouldn't have happened for the average person.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. Um, Sorry, I'm just looking at my buzzing. Oh yeah, does the buzzing in my head mean anything? Any idea? The buzzing in my ears? Like all the time? In fact, I'll give you just a really quick example. Uh, the other day I got really violent in my head about somebody that's wronged me in the past. And I don't usually go down those roads, although I have in the past. And the buzzing really increased in my left ear. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't know what, I'm interpreting it, but I'm like, you're right. I don't need to go down that road. And I stopped, and I don't know if the buzzing diminished, but I always have buzzing, both ears, but
In
you
both
know,
ears. Okay.
they'll increase or decrease, and I couldn't tell you why or how or when, but it's there, and I've noticed it. Again, being a drummer, you're always worried about tinnitus, right? So,
Yeah.
um, a few years ago, it probably started. Anyways, see if
Yeah.
there's, you
Okay.
know,
So I have personal experience with that. Um, yeah, the buzzing in your ears is extraterrestrials,
okay,
not just spirits, but extraterrestrials. And if it's buzzing in your right ear, it
yeah,
it's connecting to your left brain, which is beings like the mantis beings who are warriors.
Hmm.
If they're in the room or if they're communicating to you, your right ear will buzz. My right ear, and that was the first being I met, was a mantis. And for at least the first year, my right ear was closed shut until I started to accept what was happening, and then it opened up. But I knew when a mantis being had come into the room because my right ear would go and it would just close up. The left ear is well, it's at least the Pleiadians. Could be I don't know who else it could be, but whoever it is, they're connecting to your right brain, which is your emotional brain. And these are two good examples. The mantis beings are warriors,
Yeah.
and um, the Pleiadians are philosophers and advisors. So they're going to appeal to your emotional side, and the warriors are going to appeal to your intellectual side. So it makes perfect sense. I don't know if you said that your right ear buzzed and you didn't go down.
No, the left ear.
Yeah. Okay. So
Really clear
it's the
example.
same with me then, because the Pleiadians, when there's danger, I'll get a ringing in my left ear.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, you're not crazy. That means that
Yeah.
the fact that you didn't know me and you sought out to have this reading. I mean, the average person just wouldn't do that. It
No,
means you're interacting with these beings already, and you're
we're in
unconscious.
a different, like the person I was 5, 10 years ago, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So, but it's been a
So
progression, right? Like
so
it didn't.
now you know.
Yeah.
If either of your ears are ringing, it means that ETs are there.
Like
And
it's constant. It's all the time, right? Like it never stops. Is that
if you start interacting with them more, it will start. In fact, I don't have it right now, even though now I can communicate to them. So do more of the interdimensional meditations we have on the channel, and do CE5 at home and connect to them, and ask for more connection. In the beginning, what happens is that those kinds of symptoms go through the roof, and you think something. I thought I was going to become deaf. I mean, forget
Mm.
about thinking I was losing my mind. I thought I
Yeah.
was going to be deaf in my right ear for the rest of my life. And I have no, it's perfectly fine now. So in the beginning, there might be a lot of symptoms, but if you engage with the phenomenon and keep communicating and keep expanding your energy with theirs, then all that stuff will calm down.
Do I need to identify who I'm trying to get in contact with when I do the CE5? Or can I just say, I introduce myself, I say why I'm here, I've
So
opened a portal, like,
I was just about to say no, and then I felt something. So what are you saying? Who should he talk to? They're saying that you should talk to your teachers in I'm calling it the smoky realm, the Jedi master beings, whatever.
is there a name I can identify them with?
Is there a name? I'm not getting a name. Either my brain isn't getting it or they're not giving one to me.
Because I only ask because the more I get into this stuff, there's more beans I can try to like I've just there's
Yeah.
a ton I could be speaking with.
Well, here's the thing about names I've found with them a lot of the time. A lot of the times they'll give us a name in an earth language that actually means something in an earth language. So that doesn't necessarily mean that's the name they go by in their world.
True. Okay. Yeah.
So the term Jedi came, and that was specific.
Yeah.
That's not a word I would pick. So you could say, I want to speak with the Jedi Masters. And I know how silly that
I
sounds,
know.
but it works.
Okay, I'll try
And
that.
they will know, that you're talking to them. And that will be a beacon to help you create a portal for them.
Because I find with my chronic pain, staying in a like I'm not good at meditating. I'm not good at laser focus. Well, unless I get angry, but like it's tough for me to do this sort of thing, the meditations. Like it's not because I'm always moving. Like you'll notice even in the video, I'm always so it's tough to just forget about my body and
So we need to define meditation because the first thing that happened when you started saying that is they were vociferously denying that. They were
oh,
saying
okay.
he's a master of meditation. So bear in mind,
All
meditation
right.
doesn't mean sitting still and emptying your mind. That is
Sorry, it does or
one,
doesn't?
it doesn't. That is
Okay.
one out of tens of thousands. I can't do that.
Okay.
What I do is if you look on my channel, if you go to thunderwizard.com and go to the store, you'll see all these moving Qigong meditations. Those are the most powerful meditations that I have. So
Okay.
things like Tai Chi, Qigong, they're not just meditative, they actually create energetic portals.
Because I
So
do my version of maybe what that is hours every day, but I'm
it's
always moving.
meditation. So
Okay.
you are a master of meditation. You're just not a master of Zen emptiness meditation. I can't do that. I mean, I can do it after I've done moving meditation for an hour. Then I can sit and empty my mind.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
everybody's different, and that has a lot to do with my Vedic astrology and yours and all of that. I'm sure if I looked at your chart, I go, no, I'd be able to see. But
Okay.
um,
All right. That's good
yeah,
stuff.
you are a meditation master. Keep doing it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just gonna, I know, and time-wise, just tell me when we're
We're okay.
okay. Uh, do they have anything to tell me about my family that I don't talk to anymore?
Okay, let's see. Do you have anything to say about his family? So there's some pain that comes up for me. I can feel from them, but it's not intense. Um, they say we understand, and I want to make sure before I say that I want to be responsible. Am I getting that right? Okay. So uh, your separation from them is part of what you're supposed to be doing now,
Yeah.
and I struggled with this. I've been living this monk lifestyle for about 10 years now. And I struggled with that. And they've made it clear that it's important for me to be able to do what I'm doing now. I don't have a lot of distractions. And let's face it, people, family, relationships, unless they're just completely aligned with you, they're a distraction. And it takes a lot of your energy to, make people happy and do their thing and, just live with them. So the feeling that I'm getting is that from them that yeah that it's a necessary evil that
Yeah.
you
That's
right
kind of
now
how it is.
continue to be
Yeah.
connected to your own. And they're saying, bear in mind, look at your past, that the isolation has really helped you to see things more clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. It's not easy. It kind of sucks, but I chose it and I wouldn't trade it, right? Like it's
So I can tell you from my experience, if yours is going to be anything like mine, I mean, I'm definitely not alone. I'm communicating with, I mean, in fact, it's a deeper connection than I've ever had with a person, and it's happening all the time now. It's like 24/7.
it's a good point. I haven't felt that yet, right? I mean, there's moments where it's there, perhaps lately, of the like very recently, but overall, it's like just a challenge I need to overcome. And I say it's a gift, right? But it still doesn't feel like like I haven't got there yet. But
So
anyways,
the light beings are saying, we're waiting for you.
yeah. Well,
They're ready for that. Like they're ready right now.
so is there
And
anything I should be doing differently, or is it just a matter of continuing what I do?
continue to do what you do and make the decision.
A
Because
decision
yeah,
to
our
continue them?
third dimensional brain is gonna start trying to talk us into worrying about the whatever, the car payment or the taxes or the, all that stuff. So that's going to work against us, and so you have to make the decision. I'm not part of this world anymore. I want to be connected to a higher dimensional, energetic, spiritual force. And then think about everything we've said. I'm the sheriff of this, this part of the world, and this is my job. And that kind of thing will open you up, and then you'll be able to have a deeper connection with them.
Okay, so I'll say that in my head. I mean, I've been trying this in my own way for the last I don't know how long, but that'll focus it, so I'll do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it works. I mean, the things that they've told me, phrases they told me, when I'm in a real tough spot, I will out loud say it, and I can feel an immediate energetic shift.
Okay, so we mentioned the Jedi Masters for lack of another term, and you talk about, who you're speaking. Who are you speaking with right now? Do you know?
I personally don't know. I can ask. Who am I speaking with? So you're speaking with all of us. So I'm seeing a sea of light beings, and then there's one guy in the corner who's like dressed in black. And so he's there. So let me see. Tell me more. We don't want to screw it up, they say.
Yeah.
Just tell him that we're all here, and he'll understand later. So, in other words, it's not information that's going to be helpful to either of us right now.
Okay, I was just trying to make a distinction
Yeah,
between like the Jedi Masters and whoever you're kind of maybe. Anyways,
yeah, yeah. It's everybody's here. So my guys are here, and your guys are here, and a bunch of other people are here, and it's a there's this big, just it's a big meeting of the minds here. Listen,
no.
this is you're an extremely important person to them.
Okay.
So you've got your guys that you work on in private where you come from, and then there are the other, the Pleiadians and the whoever, and they're all part of the deal. And then there are beings outside of that. So just to give you an idea of how powerful humans are, what happened here today? You and I mean, I didn't even pay attention. I knew I had yeah, Matt. Okay, I'm going to meet you. That's all I knew. You made an appointment with me, and but understand that when that happened, and they knew that this was going to happen, the word went everywhere. They said the Jedi Master and the King of Earth are going to get together and talk, and they went, "Holy shit! When is that?" And they all showed up. So they're all here watching this. Why? Because your awakening is going to be phenomenally, hugely important to
That's
the
funny.
evolution.
It's got the energy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be hugely important to the evolution of the entire multiverse, not just your life or Earth. What we do here on Earth is affecting every dimension.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's how important these sessions are. I mean, I'm just learning this as I'm telling you this, but this is how important these sessions are. The people who
It's
come to me, people who choose to have these sessions, I know this is
yeah.
top shelf, human operatives.
We're not fucking around, eh?
Yeah, not fucking around.
Okay. It's funny, eh? The ego starts playing little tricks, eh? Starts the wheels turning here, but
Well, there's the false humility, which is your
oh,
ego.
okay. Well, maybe
The
that's what's
false
going on.
humility, the part of you that says, I'm not that. That's your false humility, which is your ego.
Yeah.
And it's backwards from what we would think.
Okay. What do you mean by
In other words, if we follow the human understanding, if you think of yourself as a god who's here on earth, that's like, no, religion, everything says that that's wrong, that's evil. That's actually the truth. The false ego says, I'm nothing, you hear people, I'm nothing, I have no ego, I'm nobody. That is pure ego. That's what's called communal narcissism. It's virtue signaling.
uh
Look how pious I am. It's complete
I know.
ego.
It's what I'm surrounded by. But anyways.
Yeah. So the person who is actually humble says, yeah, I'm a badass. I'm important. I'm this. I'm that. I mean, that's just who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Just
pretend I'm something I'm not. I
yeah.
haven't, I'm the sheriff. The sheriff has a gun.
Yeah.
And he says, he's got a badge. He doesn't come in and say, look, he goes, look, I'm the appointed sheriff here. Get your shit together or you're going to jail. I know, he doesn't, it's not
Yeah.
ego.
Yeah. It's the job.
Yeah. So humans have to awaken to this. And it'll be incredibly challenging to the communal narcissist, codependent, virtue signaling. I'm the fake humility. It's going to be extremely damaging to people.
So, like right now, I can think of one or two people that, out of all the people I know, that I would consider to be on the awakening train, let's say. They're way at the back. But like most people I know are not even, they don't want to awaken, right?
No,
So
it
it's
would
it's,
scare the
it's, it
hell out of
my, it's not my job to wake somebody up who doesn't want to get awake.
me. So,
They're just off the fucking train. Like,
yeah, they don't their unconscious message is I don't want that.
yeah,
So you go, okay,
yeah, okay. Because again, if they don't ask me, I got
yeah,
gold for life.
right. And if
Just don't.
somebody like you didn't know who I was, and out of nowhere you signed up for this.
Yeah,
Something was happening. You wanted to know, so I get to tell you. If I had emailed you and said, "Hey, Matt, guess what? You're a Jedi," you'd like, "What the fuck is?" You know?
no, that's a fair point. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
But
So
again, I don't do any, like I'm not on. I don't, I don't do a channel. I have nothing. I live in my house. I do my own thing, right?
yeah,
That's okay.
totally
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, okay.
You'll get the vibe to know if you want to do something different.
Yeah, okay. All right. Because this chronic pain thing is really put a new spice in the soup, let's say, right? Like it's it wasn't part of the plan, but it's really it's a big part of the fucking picture. So I
So,
just
so
like
I would make that my prime
all it is.
conversation with the light beings. Say, hey, man, tell me
Like,
who I am so I can heal this. Because once you
yeah,
know
I
who
mean
you are, when
like
you
I'm
know who you are and you accept it, that pain will disappear. Remember, I told you.
okay because
I just
it
got hit
seems
with
to be
energy as I
close,
said.
but sorry, say that again.
I just got hit with energy as I said that. So that's them saying that's exactly right. That's what's going to happen.
When I accept who I am, my pain will disappear.
Yep. I can tell you also from my personal experience. I have no
Okay.
pain. I'm 61 years old. I'm supposed to have all kinds of pain. I don't have any. I was walking on the beach and some guy walked up to me and told me how fucking yoked I was or whatever. I
Yeah,
should
yeah.
be, because when I was 30, I couldn't get out of bed. When I was 40, I couldn't move my neck.
Yeah, no, I believe me, I've lived there.
Yeah.
I'm 1,000% better now, but I would say I do 3D healing. Like literally, it's knots that I dig out of my body. Like you can feel the fucking things.
Yeah. So
But that's not. I can't mentally. I can't wish them away. I have to do
no,
something
no,
physical.
no, no. That it will happen because you've decided to be who you truly are.
Okay. Okay.
That's when all of your energy, this is an energetic thing.
Okay.
The energy is in knots because
Yeah.
you're in knots.
Yeah.
And when you unknot yourself and you stand there and you put on your badge and you put your cloak up and you turn on your saber, your lightsaber, then all that energy is going to move through you. And when you don't have a problem, when people come up to you and say, "Who do you think you are?" And you go, "I think I'm a fucking badass Jedi. That's who I think I am."
Walk around and find out.
Yeah,
Anyways. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good stuff, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
my privilege.
Um,
All right. Any other questions?
I think that's enough to digest for now. I think, Mike.
Okay, let's see
Or is
if
it Mike or
there's.
Michael? Do you like Michael?
Uh,
Like Mike?
I'll answer to both. Either is
Yeah,
fine.
I'm pretty. I like Mike just because it's
Yeah,
short and
that's
sweet.
fine. You can call me Mike. I
Yeah.
respect
Okay.
that.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so let me check in. Any last minute? All right, so they're very happy. They're all very happy. They're all clapping. So I don't get anything from them that there's anything. Let's see. Is there any last minute things you want to tell them? They're repeating, we just want him to know how powerful he is.
If that at a level, it probably scares the shit out of me, right?
That's how you know it's real. Because
Like,
if it wasn't, and I said you're powerful, and you went, yeah, I'm fucking, that's your ego. But when I tell you that these beings want you to know how powerful you are and it scares the shit out of you, that means it's a higher dimensional truth. And your
what
third dimensional mind is frightened of it.
yeah, like it does not fit with anything down here at this point. Like
No,
it's
it's
in
not.
they put me in an insane asylum if I went around. I don't know, like
Well,
so
welcome to my world, man. I've been here
yeah,
for years now.
yeah,
So this is,
yeah.
yep.
Like so is it my charge to just kind of like okay, I'll keep working on this. I know who I am. Well, I have an idea now
Yeah.
who I am.
In your meditations,
There's no button, there's
own.
no switch I can just switch that says, ah, now I know I'm who I am and I'm powerful and let's
No,
go.
no. So let me help you a little bit before we end this. So there's going to be a learning curve here. And so what's going to happen is that the more that you work with these light beings and the more that you do these meditations, work with those runes that I gave you, and the more that you make the decision in your meditation, you start in your meditation imagining that you are this huge, badass sheriff ninja, that you are so powerful that you're the only one that can be in, let's say, the Pacific Northwest, right? I don't know. I don't know if you're in the Pacific Northwest or wherever you are.
Canada, East
Yeah.
Ontario.
So that whole portion of Earth, there's only one person. It can only handle one person of your caliber, and that's your job to sit there and send energy to that part of the Earth. When you imagine that, and that's who you are, and you expand into it, and you're even going to find out you're stronger than that. But start with that. When you can do that, then what's when you're going to feel energy. You're
Hmm.
going to feel light beings talking to you. You're going to feel this, and you're going to go, fuck. And then when you're done, you're going to go, oh my God, I think I must be delusional. I think I'm a narcissist. You're going to go through that. That's your third dimensional self-protection mechanism trying to pull you back.
Yeah,
So you just keep doing it. It's like, you go to the gym, you know that you're going to lift weights and it's going to hurt. And then the next day you're going to be sore. And then 3 days later, you're going to be a little bit stronger.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
just keep doing that. You don't let anything stop you.
Okay, that's
And everything you're saying means that, here, this is important. Everything that you're saying means that you're sane, because
yeah. Thanks.
because insane, deluded people don't doubt when they see a being or hear a voice or whatever. They don't doubt. They go, if you try and tell them they're deluded, they will flip out on you. They will
Yeah.
get so defensive. So the fact that you're going, this does this, it means you're sane,
Okay. All
right?
right. Um, can I throw in one quick question? I don't know.
Yeah.
A couple of jobs ago, I was fighting everybody through Convid, going through a whole bunch of bullshit. I got attacked during the night by some spectral being. I don't know. I could feel it trying to slit my throat. I told it to fuck off. I wasn't scared. I took it on. I woke up, it was beside my bed in a defensive posture, and I just told it to fuck off. And I went back to sleep. Any idea what that was? I know, sorry, I'm kind of
That's
throwing.
okay. Yeah. Let's see. So guys, what was that? Say he doesn't need to know, but it's of no consequence.
Perfect. All right.
Can I tell them what I think it is? So they're saying I'm pretty close to what it is. So um, here's something I can tell you for sure. Um, the conflict did create within you
Yeah, I was wondering if I did it.
an opening.
Okay.
So
Okay, so something came through
yeah, and something, yeah, exactly. I couldn't
and I
have
got
said
rid
it.
of it, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I told it to go fuck itself and
yeah. And that was for you. And it probably helped you acknowledge what was going on with that.
Well, it's
Also,
funny how like I feel the knife. I felt it right across my throat. Like it was pretty wild, and but I was happy the way I dealt with it. But I didn't know what
yeah,
you wake up and there's a like fucking jerk off beside you.
yeah.
Anyway, so
So the more you get into your power, listen, I mean, that's part of your job. You're probably a spirit fighter. So as you get more into your job, you'll get more comfortable and you won't have a problem chasing them down. And
is that why I'm exhausted every morning I wake up? Do I go to the astral and do stuff? Sorry, I know I'm throwing a lot of crap at you.
that's very possible. I'm going to guess it's probably the internal battle that you have.
Hmm.
That's probably what tired
I
you.
got to accept myself for what I am, and
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Anyway,
All
well,
right,
nice.
my
I,
brother.
I appreciate what you do, man, and I'm glad I found you. And if you want to do whatever you want to do with this thing, feel free.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was gonna ask. So okay, great. I think this will make a great video. So I appreciate you very graciously allowing other people to see your process and to learn from it. So I'm grateful. I will put that up. All right.
Awesome.
So yeah, you know where to reach me. Anything else comes up, I'd be happy to help you. And I'm honored to have met you. And I feel empowered knowing that you're up there. So yeah, I appreciate
Awesome. I like it. That's all good stuff, man.
it. All right, my friend. Be
All
well.
right.
My appreciation, and I'm sure I'll see you around somewhere.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks very much. All right.
Yeah. Take
Ciao,
care.
man.
In this transmission is nothing unusual. Every single person that I've given readings for, you find out in the higher dimensional levels, they are the most powerful beings you can imagine. In fact, if you'd like to have your own experience with light beings, please come to the live guided interdimensional meditations that we do live every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They're free, and you can go see all of the ones we've done. You just go to the live tab on my YouTube channel and you can see all of them there in case you can't make the live ones. That's it, my friends. Check out all the other links here in case you want to see all the things that I provide with the sole intent of helping you to expand into your highest 5D awareness and to bring 5D to planet Earth. Thank you very much. I love you all. Please be very good to yourselves. I'll see you all very soon.